I think it's a huge privilege. It's a massive club. We just said about it many times before. I think if you were looking to be involved in a football club, it's got foundations for kind of everything you'd want. Whether that's location, facilities, catchment area, parking, just off the A47, the academy, the youth, kind of most of the infrastructure's there. We just need to go and build on it to move it forward. So yeah, massive honour and a huge privilege, and I think that goes for anyone that's involved in the club. I think in terms of the vision, I think we're going through a big transition. From top to bottom, we're trying to create a plan of what we want Dereham to look like. So whether that's Gus and Toast and Lee and the lads for on the pitch, and what that looks like in terms of perhaps how we play, or whether that's down to off the pitch and how we treat people or the youth or whatever that may be. We need to be a community club. We're never going to be a club that spends money. We've got to produce our own players. You know how integral the youth is, and Des are in the academy here. So for us, whether us with the media team that have come in, it's all about kind of connecting with that local audience, whether that be supporters, businesses, or whatever. We need to kind of engage and give them a reason to come and support us. So for us, there's a lot of engagement activities going on.
Owen Murphy, 4 Robbie Linford, 5 Thomas Kauskas, 6 Matt Castellan, 7 Reece Logan, 8 Captain David Hinton, 9 Toby Hilliard, 10 Ryan Chris, and 11 Adam Hibberson.
Great start, mate. Good lad. Relax. That ball's on. Fucking hell.
We need your friend behind you, need to run! Yes! Good! Good! Toby! Go! Get him up! Come on, Dereham, let's have a goal, lads! Come on, Dereham! Come on, boys! We don't need it, please. And come right back, then! Quiet, Connor, be aware of the extra ball. There, be aware of who's got him. Rebound! Jack! In line! Stay! Referee off! Referee off! That's a metre wide. That's not a metre from the wall. Someone tries the 11.
Yes!
I've seen it, you should see it. That went.
Final score, Dereham Town 5, Brentwood Town 2.
Thank you. Cheers. Appreciate that. Welcome.
Yeah, I think we looked at, as you do at the start of the season with the fixtures, and we looked at November as probably a month where there was games. We were at home for 3 games in that month, and we felt it was probably a month we needed to be winning games, to be perfectly honest. So it was an important month for us on that front. We knew we had to win the games that we had, and we performed really, really well. And yeah, it was a positive month for us. I think November, as an attacking threat, we were excellent. You know, we beat Whitman 5-1, Brentwood 5-2, Romford here 3-1, and Felixstowe away 3-2. We beat Thetford 7-0 in the cup as well. So obviously we scored a lot of goals, and they were coming from all, you know, as you mentioned, all those different lads. So as an attacking force in that month, we were good. But I go back to it. Consistency is really, really important in this league, and you know, you look at the teams that are probably, you know, above us at the moment, and they're probably just a little bit more consistent at what they do, and that's where we need to get to. Because if we play like we did in November for the course of the season, then we'd be right in and amongst it. So that's something we've got to work on. That's sometimes setting up slightly differently if we go away from home. That's having more than one way of playing, which we're trying to work on. And that's what we need to get to, like I say, take us to that next level. But yeah, attacking wise in that month, you know, I think Reece stood out with a couple of his performances. Felixstowe away really stood out. Whittam at home here, we got a hat-trick. Hippo as well, you know, he obviously scored a lot of goals in that month as well. So yeah, them two are big threats for us. And it's just, yeah, trying to get that consistency so it's all the time. I think Felixstowe probably was for me, because we were 2-0 down. Hintz, our skipper, had been sent off with 20 minutes to go, so you're down and out, to be perfectly honest, and we went for it. You know, we were at that point where it was 2-0 and we were it was all or nothing, and we changed the shape slightly, and the players really stood up, and Reece in that second half performance just dragged us through, and it was an incredible win, you know. And I don't think I've ever had it when I was playing, that, you know, you're 2-0 down with 20 minutes to go and down to 10 men, and you come back and win away from home. And you know, it was a once, probably in a season, every 2 seasons that would happen. So fantastic character, and it was at a time where it really it was our 4th win, I think, in a row, and it kind of really just gave us that impetus we felt going into December. Yeah, we had a really poor performance here against Tilbury. That was the first game, and no qualms about that. They'd come and done a job on us. They were physical. We weren't up for the battle as such, and didn't stand up to them well enough, and we got bullied here, and that was a poor performance. We then went to Malden and created enough chances to win the game. Went 1-0 up, should have gone 2-3, 4-0 up, didn't, and then obviously got done at the end. So that was a good performance, and I don't think we could have asked any more from the performance on that day. It was just really unfortunate we weren't able to get anything. And then Sudbury here we had was, again, it was a bit of a lull, a bit of a game lacked tempo, and we weren't probably at it. We managed to get a draw, and then again, I sound like a broken record here, but Soham away, we lost 1-0, and again created numerous opportunities to win the game. So again, it was a frustrating month, and it has kind of symbolised a little bit what we've been about this season. You know, the amount of chances we've created and not taken, the amount of sloppy goals that we've conceded, it's a fairly toxic combination, and we've kind of had it a bit this season. And again, when I talk about where we need to get better and the fine margins, they are that. We've got to get a little bit better in both boxes, be a little bit more robust in both boxes, have a bit more know-how and be a bit more streetwise, and that's kind of what's let us down a bit this season. And yeah, in December, you look at it, we didn't win a game, but arguably we probably should have won 3 out of the 4. So yeah, it's been a little bit like that. Basildon was a big game for us, and we didn't want to build it up, but we went into it on a poor run of form. We'd lost 4 out of the 5 going into it, so it was a big game because you do look at the tables. You know, you don't get bogged down on it, but you do look at the tables. I think at the time, if we'd have lost it, Basildon, I think, could have caught us up with their games in hand, and that's sort of how you look at it when you're going into a game against somebody. So it was an important win for us, and it stopped, like I say, the poor run of form we were on, and then set up another little kind of mini run for us. So it was a real good, it was a difficult pitch to play on, as you saw. It was a horrendous pitch, barely playable. It required us to roll our sleeves up and dig deep and show character, and we were very disciplined, really good performance, and to go away from home and keep a clean sheet in this division is tough. So to do that and win 3-0 was a really big result for us. I think Canvey away is probably the only game this season where we should have drew. We didn't deserve to win. It was just an even game, and we managed to nick it. And I think for us it was an amazing feeling, because we actually got to experience what it felt like nicking a win, which has kind of happened against us quite a few times. So it was nice on that regard. We kind of got in the change room afterwards and sort of all looked at each other and we were kind of like, we've nicked one here which we probably didn't quite deserve, but like I say, we won't apologise for it, because we've certainly been on the end of it this season. So it was a good win, and again, it's a tough place to go, and they're a side that were there in and around us, so it was a really good win at the time. I genuinely think if you go away from home and you win, it just gives that, it's a bit more, it feels a little bit different, if that makes sense. You feel as though you've really gone and earned it, and you've accomplished something by going away from home and beating an Essex side on their own patch. And I think that does do wonders for lads' confidence, and it does bring morale together, because there's nothing worse than travelling away from home, putting in an awful performance and getting spanked. So it's certainly, and when it's in the 95th minute, as well as it was, it certainly does do wonders for the group.
Been loads of progress on and off the pitch. Obviously player-wise, there's been a big turnover in players from a team we took over just over a year ago to the team we have now is very different. We obviously brought in younger players, what we thought were hungrier players at the time. And again, if you look at the team we started with on the first game of the season compared to now, it's evolved again. I think there's probably been 6 or 7 players who have left and similar who have come in. And that is all with obviously the aim of continuing to improve. Off the pitch, obviously the chairman's changed, so Ashley's coming in with new ideas. With that, the committee kind of, their views, opinions and direction changes. So it's being that change off the field. I feel like the support of the club, the fan base has changed, it's improved. Obviously we're still looking for it to improve further. From when we first came in, you know, the confidence in the dressing room was low. As a club, I think it was tough. And in terms of progress, that's what I, as first team managers, we have to base that on. There's a couple of words that I like to think that we base our work on, our team on and the club on. It's kind of trust, first and foremost. We have to trust people to do their roles, their jobs properly, and we work together to achieve the goals that we're setting. But also that, you know, that belief that actually we can be an organised team who can compete against these tough Essex sides week in, week out, and at the same time enjoying it. You know, everyone involved in the football club has to enjoy what we're doing. Whether it be we lose away to Tilbury after a 2.5-hour journey there, we have to, as a football team, enjoy that experience. We have to enjoy it as a club. So, to answer your question, it's a few key words, but it's building that club ethos and approach where we're in it together, we give it our best, and we enjoy what we're doing.